Just a moment. All right, and hello everyone. I'd like to welcome you to another Lunch and Learn series with your Columbus Minority Business Assistance Center, which is hosted at your local Columbus Urban League. Today we have the awesome Rita Suzanne joining us, who is a local marketing strategist for local businesses and a systems and automation expert who will be presenting the local authority blueprint on how to avoid burnout. So I'd like to pass it over to her and we will get started.
All right. Hi, you guys. I'm so excited to be here. First thing, we're going to go through the slides. Rosita, are you good with the slides? Are we okay?
Yes, so just to offer some initial information, we again are your Columbus MBAC, which is led by the regional director, Andrea Wilkes, with an awesome team of program administrator Danielle Pierre, certification specialist myself, Kathy and Madison. We have a business advisor as well as a small business financial coach. So we definitely have resources available to assist you in growing your business. Next slide. And we'd like to remind you that we do so through many of our local organization and partner collaborations. So, like I mentioned at the start, this is one of our collaborations with Rita. Hopefully, we will have many more in the future. So, we'd like to kick off our first presentation with her.
Yay. Thank you so much, Rosita, and everyone else. So, today we are going to talk about how you are able to stand out within your community, your local community, and share your expertise without burning yourself out because nobody wants to be the best kept secret in town because that's actually not a great business strategy. So, let me start. That's me. My name is Rita. I am a marketing strategist for local businesses. I really focus in on helping wellness businesses, but don't worry, all of these strategies can actually be applied to anyone. And I also love systems and automation because otherwise we are just running around in circles, just going crazy. I am a single mom. I have a lot of teenagers, and that has also helped me to become more of an expert in being as efficient as possible. So, the main platform that I usually spend a lot of time on is LinkedIn, and you can follow me there. So, let's move on. Let's talk briefly about my business before we get into all of the exciting stuff that I'm going to share today. So, as I mentioned, I help local business owners and I help them just become the obvious choice when someone is searching for your services. A lot of people don't realize that when you are a local business, the first thing people are doing is they're going through search, they're looking at your reviews, they're finding you online, they want to hear what other people have to say about you and your business before they even trust you to move forward. So, what you need to do is try to rank higher in the results, in the search results, so that you become one of the top ones because they're not going to just like go down to page 20 or whatever and until they find you. So let's talk about 4 years ago. I was exactly where you might be right now. I was just overwhelmed with trying to market myself. I was struggling to compete with all of the other people who were doing what I do. When I started, I was a web designer, and what I realized was that my clients didn't necessarily need a website, they needed more leads. And that's how I got really into marketing. And I had to figure out how was I going to stand out from all of my competition. And I was also watching my competition just dominate, right? Like and I'm just sitting here like, oh my gosh, I need to catch up. And, I should be caught up. I've been doing this for 10 years. How am I not able to actually, compete with them? I was also missing out on some clients, I'm sure, because like I mentioned, they couldn't find me. And then I was spending so much, like my main strategy used to be social media only. That's what I would focus on solely, was being visible on Instagram or Facebook or wherever the case was, hoping that maybe some ideal clients might find me and reach out to me and want to work with me. And I was spending so much time in Facebook groups and all of these other places where I thought maybe I could get some leads, some clients. And then I was just kind of hoping that that would, get my help me grow my business. And I tried everything. I posted on all of the platforms because, again, with automation, it makes it easy for you to post everywhere. I would just randomly attend networking events, which sometimes are, I don't know, they're just a waste of time because, everybody's going there to just sell their self, and no one is really utilizing networking to its full potential. And I would try these really complex marketing strategies in the hopes that they would get me somewhere. So I even paid for ads. And then I would also manually add myself into directories, which are like an extension of listing yourself online. Everything was done manually. I was overworking and burning myself out continuously. So then I discovered how to really, what I did notice was when I was networking locally, then my local connections would follow me on LinkedIn. And then when I would have a post go out on LinkedIn, they would actually support my post way faster than anybody who I knew online or any of my other connections that I had already made. So my local connections were actually helping propel my social visibility. And so that was super helpful. And then I optimized my Google presence because I believe it's about 65% of your searches for your business. 65% of people are using Google. And so, like, it's not the only platform, but it is the main platform. So, we want to optimize our presence there. And then the second one is on Bing, which I don't mention, but it's also, I would do that as well. And then I was just really honing in on who I need to focus on for leads. And that actually helped me to create more authentic results and get more clients consistently. So, okay, first thing I want to do is let's do a little quiz in the chat. If you could, on a scale of 1 to 10, how overwhelmed are you with marketing your business right now? 1, you're totally fine. And 10, you desperately need help. Like send somebody to to help you. Okay, so I'm seeing some high numbers, so that's good. That's what we're going to focus in on today, and hopefully, some more people can participate and let us know how your marketing is going for you as well. Okay. So good. We have a variety so far. That's awesome. Okay, so today we're going to learn exactly how you can position yourself as that go-to choice. We're going to talk about optimizing your Google presence, and we're going to talk about being strategic and building those strategic connections without like overwhelming strategies and just focusing on things that work. First things first, if you would go follow me on LinkedIn and or connect with me on LinkedIn. And on my LinkedIn, that's really the primary place that I post. I post a lot of strategies that you can use in order to grow your business. And like I said, my target is wellness, but all of these things are applicable to all businesses. So use them. And if you have any questions about any of the strategies, please let me know. So you are in the right place if you want to be more visible with your local market. You want to stop working 24/7. Like everybody's so into that hustle mentality, go, 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 go. But if you can automate some things and you can actually create systems to where it actually works better for you. That's, I think, the key to growing your business. That way you don't burn out and you actually love your business instead of despising it. So you're going to try to work on attracting more clients, better clients, and get more systemizing your lead generation. So also you are probably tired of really random marketing. So this is probably not for you if you think posting on social media is enough, that you don't really want to focus on strategy. Maybe you just want to focus on tactics. That's not really, we need the overall strategy, which is supported by our tactics. And also, maybe you believe like if you just keep on working, then it will actually all work out for you. But I will tell you, after 10 years, working harder is not the actual answer, because you just get deeper and deeper into that. So, and you want an overnight fix. But because the thing with Google is it takes time, but once you get it up there, it is actually going to help you succeed in the long run. So, what you're going to learn is the truth about local authority, which I've kind of already touched on. 3 steps in order to help you dominate your local search, and then how to build those strategic connections that I keep bringing up. So let's do another quiz. So let's talk about, what is your biggest challenge right now? Is it that you don't have enough local visibility? You have too many marketing tasks? Or you have inconsistent lead flow? Or maybe all of those. So A, B, C, or D, let us know what is your current situation. Okay, so all of the above. Not enough visibility, too much going on, inconsistent leads. Love it. Thank you guys so much for participating. It helps so much. So thank you so much. So the first thing we're going to talk about is being the authority isn't about being everything to everyone. So a lot of times people feel like if you offer everything or if you serve everyone, then it's going to actually help you grow. But that's not the case. We want to actually clearly define your expertise, your positioning, your marketing positioning, and your visibility, and create some strategic visibility. So, how do we do that? But let's first talk about another just super fast quiz for you. Would you rather spend hours updating your business information across dozens directories? Now, remember I mentioned directories are where you would list your business in the hopes that maybe someone would see you in the results. Or would you set up your Google business profile and attract clients while you're actually focusing on working? So that one you didn't necessarily have to answer. I'm just asking. So the myth is you need to be everywhere in order to be successful. But the truth is, you can be visible only where your ideal clients are looking. I don't want you to spend like all this time trying to be everywhere. Um, because if your clients are not on Instagram, you're wasting your time posting on Instagram. If your clients are only in this one particular Facebook group or wherever the case is, that's really where you need to be looking for your clients. But oftentimes, we think if we cast a wide net, then we're going to actually reel in maybe 1 or 2 clients, but it doesn't seem to work like that. So the key to visibility is actually being findable. And this is something that we talked about a little bit earlier when we talked about your Google business profile. And when people are on their phone and they're searching up let's just say you're a massage therapist or something, they're searching up massage therapists. If you're not coming up in those first couple of results, you're not findable. And so that's something that you need to think about. Just think about how you behave when you're searching for somebody else to hire as an actual client. So, how do you behave? And then take that and say, okay, well, maybe I do need to fix my Google business profile. Maybe I'm not ranking higher in the results. So, the great thing about your business profile is it acts as your storefront. It's going to attract your ideal clients and it's going to help you generate leads if you're able to do it correctly. So, one thing that I want you to do. This is actually a big one. My big ask is get on your phone right now and search for your business and look at it and see what comes up. I want you to take a moment and count the missing elements and drop that number in the chat. Below that, you'll see that I've listed out. These are the essential elements that you need for your business profile: your name, address, phone number, your hours, including your holiday hours, description. What are your business categories? Now, you can have a main category and then secondary categories. So you can have multiple categories. And then are you listing your products and services over there on Google? And then when you do list them, did you write out descriptions for each product or service, which is actually super helpful because those keywords are going to come up when people are searching. It's going to help you get found more. So don't just list your products and services, create descriptions of each one of those. Okay, let's go back. Do you have photos of your business? And now this sometimes can be questionable because let's say that you don't have um, an actual physical location, but you work online. You can still post things of examples of your work. You can post other items as well in order to, like, testimonials. Like, you can maybe create little photo images and post your testimonials up there, pictures of yourself, your logo, your team if you have one. So you still can have photos on your profile even if you don't have a physical location. And one thing that people don't realize is that for your Google business profile, you can actually post on there. And when you do, that actually shows Google that you are being active, that your business is actually active. And also, when you are working with people, are you asking them for reviews? If you do, that's wonderful. But if you are not responding to the reviews, then I would suggest that you do that and try to do that within 24 hours. So the next thing is questions and answers. So there's a section in there where people can ask questions and you can reply and answer them. And then, are there any attributes that apply to your business? So that's what I would love you to do. Take a look at your Google business profile and is it complete or is it not complete? And one thing that people have to remember is you need to be consistent in your business name, address, and phone number everywhere. So if you have to update your Google business profile because you moved or something like that, then you need to make sure that everywhere else that you have your business listed has that same address. Does your website have the new address? And then all of these directories that you've submitted yourself to do they have your address? So some examples of directories would maybe be, are you a member of the chamber? Are you a member of any associations that are local? They can be local and they can be national associations, but it's just somewhere where your business is being listed, could be paid or free, and there's tons of them. You just, if you update any of your information change, you need to update it everywhere. So if you're not going to have somebody doing that for you, I suggest making a list of where you have listed your business, what directories you are listed in. And then that way you can go and update them and make sure all the information is consistent. So the next thing is just understanding that strategic connections are going to help you drive growth. So what does that mean? It's like all fancy words. So, building your authority online and in person is super important, right? You're being strategic with your creating your connections. So, are you connecting with people that are your ideal clients? Yes, but you're also speaking to potential collaborators who can refer you to potential clients, and you're just constantly talking about your business so that when somebody thinks of you, they think, "Oh, wow, that person does this. Let me connect you." Right? Oftentimes we think, oh, if we share our business one time, everybody knows. And why aren't they telling? Why is nobody referring me? It's because you're not talking about it enough. And I think that we oftentimes as business owners, we're like, I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to be annoying, but you got to be right in order to build your business, especially in the beginning when you're trying to gain some traction and momentum. So that's why automation actually helps you. And one of the things that I do is kind of automate all of those directories and those listings and stuff like that. So that makes it easier, taking away some time. So we're going to go back. We're going to do another quiz. If I can get you guys to participate, I think we only have two more. So this one and one more. So how are you currently managing your online presence? So please drop the answer in the chat. And the first one is, what's an online presence, right? The second answer is when you have time, or C is randomly posting, and D is you have a strategic system in place. And so I'll answer the first one in case nobody knows. And A is like strategic, your online presence is anytime someone goes to Google and they type in your name, that in whatever comes up, that's your online presence. Whatever is how you're posting online on social media, your website is an indicator, any of those things that are going to come up whenever you are posting online. That's your online presence. How somebody is going to find you using this wonderful tool called the internet. So I have this free marketing report. If you want to go and grab it, it'll actually analyze all of these things for you: your marketing score, your details, your technical performance, like as far as like what is maybe missing, and all of these other things. Go check it out. It's free. You'll get the report instantly. And if you have any questions about it, I think the last time it was like an 8-page report, super detailed, super helpful, and it'll help you figure out what you might need to work on now in order to help your business grow and stand out. So it's going to show you how visible you are, how you might be losing potential clients, what may be working, what's potentially not working, and specific areas of improvement. So as I mentioned, it's free. The link will be in the last page of the PDF, so you can, or of the presentation, so you can grab that. So the next thing is your success tip. So my success tip for you today is to be consistent. Don't worry about perfection. In fact, I say, like, do things messy, right? Just do them. And instead of getting caught up in making sure that you are being perfect. And you can also, like, after you get your report, if you want to schedule some time to chat with me, we can do that. So what's next? The next thing is get your marketing report, connect with me on LinkedIn, implement at least one of those Google My Business tips that I shared. And then you can schedule a strategy call with me if you'd like. So now it's question time. Do you guys have any questions about optimizing your Google business profile? Any local visibility strategies that you want to chat about? Do anything about strategic connecting or getting this marketing report? Please put your questions in the chat and let's go over them if you have any.
While questions are being considered to be placed in the chat, What do you think is probably the first step in kind of reorganizing your marketing strategies?
I always think that, having a clear idea of who your target audience is the most important thing because oftentimes, like I mentioned in the beginning, people want to be very broad with their target because they feel as if they can serve everyone. And by really defining and getting clear with your target, it actually can help you as a first step.
Thank you for that. So questions are coming in. I'm showing Jimmy Mitchell, a great client of ours. Hi, Jimmy. He just, I guess, wants to go over local visibility strategies, probably a best practice in that area.
Yeah, so definitely one thing that I love for local is being on LinkedIn. I think that that is a huge strategy is connecting with people on your LinkedIn because obviously it's more geared towards your business professionals. And so I think posting on LinkedIn, optimizing your profile on LinkedIn so that people know what you actually do. And then I love actually going to networking events, good networking events. And when people are networking locally, one thing that I like to do is just go in there with the mindset of making friends, making connections versus going in there and like thinking about selling right away, right? It's really and so one thing that I love to do is not even talk about business. I love to ask questions that are personal in nature so that I can get to know them a little bit better. And then maybe that would lead to a better business connection versus just, starting off with, hey, this is what I do. And people automatically tune out. They only want to talk about their own business because they're there to get clients.
Yes, I think that's a pretty genuine approach to getting to know other individuals in your area and then possibly gaining clients as well. Another question that we have is how do you create your Google business profile? And then they also are asking how much your initial consultation calls would be for them.
The calls are free and they're 15 minutes. And then the Google business profile, you could Google, like, how do I create my Google business profile? But it's a really simple process where it's going to connect to a Gmail account. And then you can just go in there and add all of your business details. And you can upload your logo and all of those images. And then, like I said, there's step by step. And I do have a free like checklist guide that I don't have included in here. But if you book a call with me, then I can send over that guide for to you. It's free.
Got it. So Trishelle is stating that she is currently revamping her LinkedIn profile for personal branding,
Mhm.
but hasn't used it since she was in college. Would you be able to assist with effective strategies to create more visibility on your strategy calls?
Yeah, definitely. I usually will use that report and just kind of go over and make some suggestions on things and ways that I feel like you could optimize your business. And oftentimes I'll follow up with a video just going through some of the suggestions that I would make.
And then from our own office, would you be able to speak more about how to connect with your services and the services that you do provide?
Sure. So I have two services. I have this local SEO service that I offer, which is search engine optimization. And that is a long game strategy. So if you have a website, then it needs to be optimized for speed, for functionality, but also have the right content strategy in place so that you are driving traffic consistently to your website, right? Because that's what your website is for. I think oftentimes people think that it's just to kind of showcase their business. But if you can make the most beautiful, gorgeous website, and if nobody is coming there, you're not getting any traffic, you've just wasted thousands, potentially thousands of dollars on a beautiful landing space that no one's even visiting. So, yeah, so I offer the SEO services, and then I have this business, I have an actual VIP day for optimizing your Google business profile. So if someone wants me to optimize their Google business profile, I would do that for them by collecting all of the information. And then I would write all of the content out, have them review it and make sure that it's good for consistency. And then I would add it for them. So, and I would do all of that in one day. And then the last thing that I offer is more of a software as a service. And what that does is an all-in-one platform where it could help them with their Google reviews and automating your reputation online. And that's $97 a month. And it has like email marketing in it. It has all of the tools that they need in order to kind of market in one spot versus being everywhere.
Got it. Okay. Now, going back to, I would say more so of the networking information that you shared, what would be some tips that you had on creating those strategic connections in those spaces?
Yeah, I love trying to connect with people who are not actually. So one, I know a lot of people do this strategy, which is like the cold DMs, and I hate them. I literally hate it. If someone cold DMs me, like I will immediately. I'm like, I'm not interested, right? So instead, I might reach out to someone who is a potential collaborator. So someone who's kind of not my competition, but also not my ideal client, and who would be someone who I could connect with and see how we might work best together. So, for instance, business coaches or maybe other web designers, who don't do SEO or who don't focus in on specific things, but you can create a relationship with them. And again, it's just like maybe just how are things going for you? I love to ask things about like how they're automating certain things, like, so you have to really like hone in on what someone might be receptive to. And because my clients are in the wellness industry, I might connect with someone who's using a particular they use specific systems like EHRs is what it's called for all of their business operations, for scheduling appointments, for containing all of that information. And so I might connect with someone and ask them about that specific system, and does it, is it working well for you? And are you able to follow up with your patients and get reviews? Are you sending out email automations? Are you doing these things in order to, increase your leads and your connections? Does that
Thank
make
you.
sense? Or did
It
I go
does.
off on a tangent? I'm like, sometimes I go off on tangents. So
You have great information to share, so it happens. It looks as though we're having a few participants that are interested in not only meeting with you, but with our specialists as well. So if everyone could ensure that we have your contact information either by the registration for this Lunch and Learn series, or if you're able to put it in the chat, that would help us to be able to get you connected to the resources that you need. And then we do have another question. Do you recommend any specific website builders for marketing purposes to be most effective?
So I am a lover of WordPress. I understand that for some people it's a little bit too much of a learning curve, but I feel like if you can, so now they have so many different themes. And so this is my analogy of how a website works, right? I like to use it as an analogy of your home. Okay, so with WordPress, you have your main website, and then you have like land. So we're going to use this analogy like a house is built on the land. So if your land is your hosting company, and then you take your WordPress and you put that on your hosting company. And then inside of that, you have your theme, which is kind of like your framework of your house, right? That would be specifically like how your house is laid out. And then you have other things like your plugins and your actual design. And that is like the interior design of your website. And the reason why I love WordPress is because you have full ownership of it. And unlike some builders, specifically like Kajabi, Wix, Squarespace, these builders, you're actually kind of just renting space from them. So if you want to grow your business, you would then later have to move your whole website into a different platform that would allow you to grow. With WordPress, you have that full ownership, like I mentioned, but you also have more control over it, because with your hosting needs to be fast, and you can't control how Wix is, how fast Wix is. You can't control how fast Squarespace is. And for your SEO, it just really not needs to be, that functionality piece needs to be there.
All right, so I don't show any other questions at this time. We do have plenty of time still left in this session, so if there's any details that you would like for Rita to go over, or if there's something within your own marketing strategies that you've been struggling with, please feel free to maybe discuss it in the chat. But we will do our best to kind of link you to our services as well as Rita's, if now just isn't the greatest time for you to do so.
Yeah. I'm like, I got so excited. I went so fast. Maybe I
Is there anything within your presentation that maybe you want to expand on a little, or?
Well, I feel like everything that I talked about, maybe I did go a little bit too fast on the benefit of having your, Google business profile optimized and why it's important. But like I mentioned, about 60 something, I feel like it's 62 or 64% of people are using Google to find local businesses. And the way that
Okay.
your search engine works is it automatically, like in the past, we used to have to say like, doctor near me, but right now, the way that the internet works is the proximity is closest to you. So
Got it.
I
Yeah,
see.
yes, Jimmy is now asking concerning food types of businesses, what is a good market strategy? Maybe kind of just a simple way to like get started with strategy for restaurant and food services.
So is it catering, or is it like an actual restaurant?
So, with my familiarity with Jimmy, he has a spices and sauce line that I believe has been featured in some stores as well as some other partnerships. So, maybe if it's a product line
Mhm.
that's within food service, how to strategize that marketing ability.
I love user, or like the UGC content, which is user generated content. So having other people review your product and share about it online while tagging you, tagging your website, all of those things in order to reach a broader audience versus just focusing in on you trying to create all the content, right? And so that's why a lot of companies who have the products, they will pitch content creators and ask them to share about their products so that they can get a wider net in that case, so that they can gain that momentum online in order to do it. I think a good local strategy is connecting maybe with some local like content food bloggers, those type of people who might be able to create content who are local who could talk about it, and then maybe expand that net and go wider with the UGC content if you can. I guess it really depends on what your budget and how much you want to invest in having other people to do those things for you.
All right. Well, I'm not sure. Well, oh, we got just, oh, Jimmy just saying thank you. All
Thank you,
right.
Jimmy, for asking a question.
Um, I don't know. I think that might be all the questions that we have at this time. I will say that you have presented some very valuable information. Actually, Danielle and I were kind of chatting off to the side, like, oh my God, this is so amazing.
Oh,
Um,
good.
so, just some great detail on what to focus on, understanding your target audience, and then the best practices to move forward with getting that information to them. I do have an additional question. As a drop shipper, when making your website, what would be the best way to display your product on your website? That's a good question.
So oftentimes people, when they have product like e-commerce websites, they have these huge banners in the in the first on the first homepage, and that doesn't really help or entice people to want to purchase, right? They want to see your products right away, and the banner should be, there's this thing called above the fold, right? And so the fold is before you start the scroll. And so in that above the fold section, I would say the first thing that I would do is talk about what what different types of products you have, who they're for, and really have a really good call to action. And then I would make sure that you're having breadcrumbs throughout your website as well. And so a breadcrumb is specifically, like, I know you've seen these websites where they have a main category and then they have the subcategory and it's all next to it. Those are breadcrumbs, so that if you decide that you don't want something from category 5, but you look up here and you see a link from something from category 2, you're like, oh, let me go back and check this out. So breadcrumbs are a really good strategy in order to get people to have more options without it being such an obvious thing. You want to have great photos of your products. And people now are having video with their products as well. They're showing video in their actual e-commerce storefronts. And so once they would click on that product, they might see a video of how the product works or looks on, or any of those things. And so oftentimes video works a lot better as long as it's a short video and engaging, good quality. Those work even better than just a straight image. And I would have multiple images up there.
Got it. All right. Well, I think that we have received an abundance of information to kind of get folks in the right path to kind of strengthen their marketing strategies. So I believe we should maybe share details on. I'm sorry, everyone. Like I keep missing your questions. One more.
Mhm.
What would be the best way to advertise your NEM transportation company? How do you get into the hospitals and doctors' offices?
How do okay, can you read that one again? Because I don't even see it on here.
This is in the Q&A section that I believe you should see that at the bottom as well. Again, what would be the best way to advertise your NEM transportation company? How do you get into the hospitals and doctors' offices? So I believe this is for more of a medical transportation service.
I think that's a great question. Oftentimes, when people are doing like a medical sales and things of that nature, you have to kind of bribe, if you will, the office staff in order to see the actual business, the doctor, the decision maker. And when I say bribe them, I mean bringing them lunch, bringing them donuts, doing those things in order to get that actual access with the physician or whoever's in charge of making decisions. That is the biggest strategy that I know that has been, people have been doing that for years in order to create that personalized touch. Because I know for me, it's challenging to connect with some wellness providers because they're so busy in their business that they're not on social media. And so you have to create a connection outside of social media in order to connect with them oftentimes. So that is one of the strategies that I know. I feel like that's kind of a lame, boring answer because you probably already knew that, right? To go in there, but you could also send some marketing materials. And one thing about sending marketing materials that a lot of people don't utilize is, have you ever received like a piece of mail and like it's not a flat letter, right? It has something in it. That is the way that people get you to open it, is by having something in there that is going to prompt them to open it. And so that's another strategy that you could use. But again, stopping by the office, I think, is one of the best ways to get in there. And then asking other people if they know anybody who's a great connection. I think that's a big strategy that a lot of people are maybe afraid to do, is to ask their current network if somebody knows somebody who they should be connected with, right? And oftentimes the way that works is, I would say, make a list of all of your actual business connections and or friends and family, and then write out and or create, you could create a video explaining this, but what you do, who you do it for, and why it's so valuable. And then ask, do you know anybody I should be connected with? Do you know? Because you're asking them, like, who would this be valuable for? You're not asking like, do you know any clients? You're asking like, who should I be connected to? Because it could be someone who is a collaborator, not an actual client. So I would make sure that it's an ask of anybody in that industry, anybody who might find this valuable.
Thank you. And then, kind of going back to your some of your opening statements of getting involved in networking events, would maybe attending medical conferences, if possible, if it's open to any and all that can participate, would that be another great approach to do?
I love that. The problem is that they only have like one a year, like,
Okay.
if you can afford to actually go to conferences, that's the greatest, because you now have access to them in a place where they're not distracted by patients. They're usually going to be more relaxed in there. And so I feel like if you can get to any conferences or even any local events where you think there might be some good connections for you, then definitely go. Because I used to, when I would do design, I would always try to get all of my prospects on a Zoom call, right? Like, I've worked with clients all over the world, and I would try to get them on a Zoom call, because if I was talking to them on the phone, there's not that same connection as when I'm looking at them in their eyes. And so it's even a greater effect when you can meet them in person. But oftentimes people are maybe too shy, too nervous. They don't really like networking because they're afraid of the whole situation. But there's a lot of online networking that you could do as well.
Well, all right. I don't want to miss out on any questions, but I do believe that we are nearing our time for this session. So, to be respectful of everyone's time, I want to ensure that we get some final details to you all. So, I believe, Rita, you had some information to share about some downloads and how to get in contact with you. Mhm.
Yeah, so this one is this on this slide. If you guys are sharing the presentation, they can just click on that link and go grab that marketing report like instantly. But also, if you have any questions, that is my website. You can reach out to me and schedule a call with me. There's consult call buttons all over there, because calls to action are important.
Thank you. And then Danielle, our program administrator, does have some details to share with you all to also get in contact with our office for a lot of the resources that we have to offer.
Good day, everyone, and happy Friday Eve. Definitely wanted to make sure that we always take the opportunity to connect you all with our free services here at the Columbus Urban League. So do yourself a favor if you have yourself an electronic device. I want you to go to the website that I am going to type in the chat. Once you get there, Rita, do you actually mind if I share my screen really quick?
Yeah, sure. Let me stop. Oh my goodness. So sorry. I'm like, where do I stop sharing?
Thank you. All right. If you are seeing my screen, this is the Columbus Minority Business Assistance homepage here. You'll see a couple different pieces of information, such as what our services are, what counties we serve, what we do exactly, and how to reach us. If you scroll yourself down to the very bottom, we have two tabs here that you can directly click on. First, if you are a new client and you have not been serviced with us the year before, one of the first pieces of information that we do need you to complete is the intake registration form. This form allows us to receive your business information in our system so I am able to quarterback you over to one of our specialists, such as our business advisors, such as our financial coach, and such as our certification specialist. Once you complete that, you will receive an email inviting you to schedule your one-on-one appointment with them. If you have been serviced through our program before and you're wanting to reconnect with our services, clicking on the existing clients request services here will take you directly to the landing page to go ahead and just schedule your appointment. Our specialists are available to you on a one-on-one basis. We do ask that you do schedule your appointments because we do not accept walk-ins due to the reason that we want to be able to dedicate specialized one-on-one time for you. So it is absolutely important to first, again, complete that intake registration form if you are a new client, or if you're an existing client, to go ahead and feel empowered to schedule your appointment with them. Um, that is pretty much all I have here for you. We make it very simple and easy to connect with our services. So yes, please go ahead and do so. And that is it here for me, Rosita.
Thank you so much, Danielle. And then for Rita, before we close out, is there any last remarks that you have for our participants?
I am just so happy to be here today, and so I appreciate you guys for having me on. And if any of you have any questions about how to do any of these things, please feel free to reach out. And just my biggest tip is just to try to create a simple strategy, be consistent with it, and that will get you a lot farther than creating some massive super extreme strategy.
Well, thank you so much again for what you've shared with us. Like I said, we are amazed by the details. I think that you've shared. I think they speak specifically, especially to small businesses, on how to just make things a little easier to be able to have a successful business. So we very much appreciate what you've had to share today and the time that you've given. And hopefully we can have another one and bring you back.
Yes.
But for all of our participants, thank you so much for attending another great lunch and learn for us. This will be our final one for the year. However, we are making sure that we have a number of interesting topics that are helpful for you all and your business. So please be on the lookout. Once you register with us, like Danielle was showing, you will be on our email list for our newsletter, and it'll have all the details for not just the lunch and learn series, but a number of resourceful events that you can anticipate from your local MBAC. So, again, I thank you all. As Danielle always says, happy Friday Eve, and may you all continue to have an awesome holiday season. Thank you so much from your Columbus MBAC.
Thank you guys.